This video has been funded in part by the Guild via Patreon. Check out the links in the description or at the end of this video for more details. Hello everyone, my name is Chris Gildart, and welcome back to another episode of Expanded, the show where I take a look at downloadable content and let you know if it's worth it. I may have already done a mini review of Atelier Marie Remake, but there was one thing that I wanted to talk about, and that was the Digital Deluxe Edition. And since I don't think we're getting any more DLC, I might as well talk about everything that you can get for Atelier Marie Remake. First of all, let's chat about the cost. DLC cost is going to be a big factor in whether or not it's worth it to get. Well, I can tell you this already looks way better than the Token Rambu Warriors Digital Deluxe Edition from the price alone. Atelier Marie Remake by itself on Steam costs $64.99, while the Digital Deluxe Edition costs $89.99. Please keep in mind that these are in loonies and toonies. This means that you get all that additional content for only $25. But don't worry if you bought the base game before watching this video, you can still buy the Digital Deluxe upgrade for $32.50, so you're only gonna be out an extra $7.50 in the long run. The Digital Deluxe Edition comes with music, costumes, and something that I'm going to hold on to for later. I'm also going to be taking a look at the 2 free pieces of DLC that were added post-launch. But before we go too far, don't forget to give this video a like, comment with your thoughts below, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, let's take a look at the DLC for Atelier Marie Remake. Starting things off, let's obviously tackle the free DLC first. Being free, it can't be that big of a deal, right? Well, no, not entirely. I'd still recommend grabbing them just for the fact that they're free, but whether you use them will be up to you. The first is the 25 Glasses accessory, which was added to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Atelier franchise. They can be equipped to any character, though you probably won't see me using them because they do stand out like a sore thumb. Still neat to have, though. The other free piece of DLC we get is something longtime Atelier fans will likely come to expect. The Atelier series Legacy Background Music Pack is something nearly every Atelier game has. The pack gives you the OSTs from all the previous Atelier franchise games, including the Mana Khemia series as well. I will say that I noticed a lack of Ryza 3, even though it did come out before Atelier Marie Remake. Oh well, with this pack you can change the music in different parts of the game. If you want to have the Atelier theme of Eska and Logi, but the battle theme of Ryza, you can do that at your desk in the Atelier. You can even set multiple songs for each area, and the game will shuffle through the options. Personally, I set all the music to both the remade and classic songs, as well as Ellie and Lily songs, so shuffling through all of the Salberg songs has made my current playthrough so charming. This one is an absolute must, especially at the low cost of absolutely nothing. And now that we've got the easily affordable stuff out of the way, let's get on to the actual meat and potatoes of this video. The Digital Deluxe Edition pack comes with another background music set, a set of costumes, and a fully translated version of the original PS1 classic Atelier Marie, The Alchemist of Salberg. That last one is the main reason why I wanted to cover the Digital Deluxe Edition. The fact that we here in the West now have a way to play the original game in English means we can finally experience the true beginnings of the Atelier franchise. I'll be tackling these in order of what I would consider least to most important within the Digital Deluxe pack and whether I think it's a good part of this package. Considering the $32.50 price tag, I will say that at least from the price alone, I feel pretty confident that this will be a worthwhile package. But let's actually get into things. First of all, the Gust Extra Background Music Pack. This provides you with a list of game soundtracks for similar use to the Atelier Legacy Pack. You can find games like Atelier Ryza 2, Atelier Sophie 2, Ciel and Arno Surge, both Knights of Azure, both Blue Reflection, Nelk, and Augmented Reality Girls Trinary. Wait, Ryza 2, Sophie 2, and Nelk are all part of the Atelier series. Why aren't they included in the Legacy Pack? Also, why the omission of Ryza 3? I honestly would have been fine with the Gust Extra Pack only coming with the non-Atelier games so that they could be a part of the free Legacy Pack. The ones included here just kind of confuse me. The next package is the Another Look costume set, which provides a whopping 33 costumes, something that is really impressive until you realize they're all color palette swaps. This honestly should have been in the remake by default. A handful of alternate costumes would have been that much better to see. Maybe a Ryza costume for Marie, a Claudia costume for Chie, maybe an Eska costume for Marie, and a Logi costume for Kreese. I don't know. I just would have hoped for a bit more than color palette swaps. Anytime I see this as DLC, it always disappoints me because that should really just be something that's in the base game. The character portraits also don't change based on their costumes, so that's another small detail that's kinda disappointing. Wow, okay, so far, I'm not all that impressed by the Digital Deluxe Edition, but we still have one more piece that could save the day. Oh, also before we go too far, I do want to mention the 25 glasses works with all of the color palette swap costumes because it's considered an accessory. It would have also been nice to see other accessories too, but I digress. And now we move on to Atelier Marie, the Alchemist of Salberg, the PS1 classic that has been fully translated to English with upscaled visuals. It also keeps the original 4:3 aspect ratio, which is great in my opinion. The game does have these nice borders that aren't too distracting either. One detail that I think was a very smart choice is the font typeface. They chose to make the text feel straight out of a 90s game. They didn't try to make this look like a modern remake. I really do feel like I'm playing this on a PS1, or at least it feels like I'm playing a PS1 game that you can get off of PlayStation Plus Premium. Everything from the music to the sound effects to the visuals just takes me back to the 90s glory days. Hey mom, throw on some Soundgarden and pour me a glass of Sonic D and check out this gnarly game. I will say though, this game is way harder than the remake. I've had my whole party die several times. I don't even know if I'm actually making any progress in the game. I also feel like Marie herself is so much weaker. Like starting things out in the remake, I didn't find it to be overly easy to take out the first few monsters, but as time continued, I was able to take most monsters out with one hit using Marie. In the classic game, she only deals 6 damage to a Puni, while Krugel is doing 63. I also feel like I've run into more events during the first year of the classic game than I did in the first 3 years of the remake. The menus are a little tricky to get used to as well. There have been a lot of quality of life upgrades the remake got that I am just finding out about now. First of all, there are no exploration areas. You just decide whether you want to stay in the area for a chance at either gathering more materials or encountering a group of enemies. So exploration itself is non-existent here. You can't just bring up your menu outside of the atelier. So if you want to have one of your party members leave because you can't afford them anymore, you either have to go back to your atelier and waste a day, or replace them with someone you can afford if that's even an option. When it comes to requests from the inn, you can't just see if you have the necessary items from the request screen. You have to select the request and then check from a separate menu. This also doesn't tell you if you have the necessary ingredients to synthesize an item, only if you have any in your inventory or if you know the recipe. I also found people would refuse my request to join my party more often, and synthesis would fail more often. I had several synthesis fail at 80% or more. There's probably programming stuff happening in the back end which makes the classics 80% fail more often than the remakes, but it's still frustrating. In the end, the Digital Deluxe Edition surprised me with how little it cost for what you get. Sure, the costumes and music aren't anything special, and the costumes probably should have been in the base game to begin with, but the fact that you get the classic game with this makes it that much more worth it. I could go on and on about why this is worth it. The fact that you're essentially getting 2 games in this package with loads of replayability thanks to multiple endings means you will definitely be getting your money's worth, especially if you buy the Digital Deluxe Edition right off the bat. But even when you consider the $32.50 for the upgrade, to get the classic game alone would be great. The music and costume packs are just kind of a bonus to this package. If you're interested in Atelier Marie Remake and even just slightly interested in experiencing the very first game in the franchise, this is a no-brainer. If you grew up in the 90s and played a bunch of slice-of-life simulation JRPGs, you owe it to your younger self to pick this up. I do kind of wish that the classic game wasn't locked behind buying the remake as well, but the remake is worth it here. So even if someone asked me, should I pick up Atelier Marie Classic? My answer would be, yeah, but you should also get the remake. Part of me does feel like it would be best to experience experience the classic game for at least one playthrough before you start the remake. It is a relatively short game. In fact, I'm at the end of my first playthrough of the remake already. I'm just trying to do some more leveling and getting as many trophies as possible this first time before starting a new game plus. So with how quickly it is to play through, doing a classic run before you start your remake adventure is probably the best way to experience this game. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot of grinding left to do. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video on the Atelier Marie Remake Digital Deluxe Edition and free DLC. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe for more. Since I'm nearing the end of Atelier Marie Remake, would you guys like to see a full review of the game after I do a couple more playthroughs? Also, would you like to see me stream a playthrough? Let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to help support this channel and what I do here, you can join the guild just like these awesome people that you're seeing on screen right now. You can join their names at the end of every single video for just $1 a month over on Patreon, or you can donate in a one-time fashion and join the volunteer unit over on Coffee. A special shout out goes out to my guild general, Beggy Beg Beg, for supporting this channel at the top tier. There are other rewards and other tiers as well, so check out the links that you see on screen, and I will see you all down in the comments.